Just putting a time on because I haven't timed myself yet. Thank you all for being here. 55% of our energy in Scotland is used to heat our homes. And the vast majority of this energy comes from gas, which is now largely imported from places like Qatar and Norway, Russia, and it's fundamentally unsustainable. I'm David Townsend, founder of Townrock Energy, Scotland's first geothermal energy company. We are looking to develop geothermal energy in Scotland and in the wider UK and beyond to address the energy trilemma, which is providing affordable, local energy for the long term with very low carbon emissions. This diagram shows the wide array of different kinds of geothermal resources, and I definitely don't have time to go into it all, but we're focusing in Scotland on two main resources: abandoned flooded mines and sedimentary aquifers. And these are throughout the entire central belt, just everywhere, and currently almost entirely untapped. They have the potential to provide for upwards of 50 years before any borehole or any major system component needs replacing. And it's operational 24 hours a day or on demand. It's very little visible infrastructure, and the resources are near to areas of heat demand and areas of fuel poverty. A recent Scottish Government report identified that a third of Scotland's heat demand could be met from the water that's just held within the mines. And that's not taking into account the other resources we have of abundance in Scotland. Currently, Townrock Energy provide consultancy on the evaluation and the development of these resources. But in the long term, we're looking to leverage equity stake in projects to generate revenue from heat sales and RHI in the long term. Now, the most common question I get asked, always when I'm banging on about geothermal energy, is that why is this not being done? These resources have been around forever. Why are we not developing them? And there's a number of reasons why. So I'll run through the barriers and then tell you about the solutions that are now coming to fruition. So in the UK, there's a significant lack of district heating infrastructure. And district heating infrastructure is required to distribute the heat and sell it to end consumers. Also, the geothermal energy resources potential has been massively underestimated historically. The public understanding of both district heating and geothermal is fairly non-existent. And pretty much entirely through the last few decades of geothermal development in the UK, the finances' emphasis has been on electricity generation. And this does not make economic sense in the UK. However, for heat provision, it makes absolute sense. There's a lack of Scottish demonstrator projects. There's only 2 small projects that are less than 20 houses each that take heat from a mine and distribute it in the public sector. So there's a lack of large-scale demonstrator projects. And then there's also a general lack of investor confidence in geothermal globally. However, this is all changing right now. And in the UK, we've been announced that the next decade is the decade of renewable heat. And that is obviously the right way to go considering our energy consumption ratios. This provides incentives for the development of district heating infrastructure primarily, and we're seeing these systems rolled out across the country in an increasing number. The potential of geothermal energy has been, the underestimation has been corrected by recent research at the University of Glasgow. We're engaging the public, we've been in the press recently a number of times, and we're engaging communities where this is viable. And globally, there's a real industry emphasis on heat provision and cascading direct heat use. Very recently, the Scottish Government ran a challenge fund called the Geothermal Energy Challenge Fund. And I can't say any more, but it's in a week or so, there's going to be a lot of press surrounding the announcement of the successful projects. So keep an eye out for that. And that's leading to the funding of a number of feasibility studies to identify demonstrator projects in Scotland. And then there's a number of European projects that have recently proven that geothermal energy at their district heating scheme is the most economically viable source of heat at that site. This is in Bochum in Germany. So anyway, more about us. We've got a core team. It's basically me and my dad was in oil and gas for 35 years, and now he's working with me pretty much full time. And we have a graduate engineer who graduated from the University of Glasgow, from Dunfermline, very, very smart guy. Then we have a larger team of advisors, and on our board sits Claire McLeod, who's co-founder of a large oil and gas consultancy in Aberdeen, and Stan Johnston, who pioneered the only 2 existing mine water geothermal heating schemes in Scotland 15 years ago, and he's advising us now on the best strategies for bringing this technology forward. We're partners with the British Geological Survey. They're very, very massive advocates of geothermal energy, have been for decades, and they're incredibly excited to be partnering with us. We are based in the Edinburgh Centre for Carbon Innovation, and we're establishing the UK's first geothermal energy laboratory in the University of St Andrews in cooperation with them. We've won a number of awards. I don't have time to go through them, but Fergus Ewing dropped the Young Innovators Challenge. That was the one that really kick-started the company, and we're just very, very grateful to all the organizations that have supported us to date. We wouldn't be here without them. Then, what is our business plan? Well, just take a quick analog and look over at Germany. So Germany, about 10 years ago, the German government got really behind the development of geothermal. And in the last decade, since then, the market for direct heat use of geothermal energy has more than doubled. And right now, the Scottish government are getting behind geothermal. So we could certainly project that the next 10 years are going to be similar to what's happened in Germany. The global industry is $8 billion, and it's actually projected now to grow exponentially. And that's largely because of the energy agenda and local, affordable, secure energy as we're going for in the UK. So to date, we've had £100,000 funding, 75% of which was grant funding. Projected revenue is gotten kind of messed up on there, hasn't it? But it's this year 50,000, next year 150,000, year 3 400,000. Key next steps: test the technical and economic feasibility of a few demonstrator sites. And I can tell you that we are now doing that for 5 sites over the next 6 months. And early 2016, we will have completed business cases for development of 1 to 3 Scottish demonstrator projects. And then beyond 2016, we're looking to export our consultancy services and project facilitation. And that's really the main driver for large-time growth, and also for bringing in some private equity investment at some point in the near future. So we have 2 asks. One is private equity investment to expand our reach, grow our team, and actively pursue developing projects globally, of which there are hundreds of thousands of potential projects. I am incredibly excited about the potential. And then in early 2016 and beyond, we'll be looking for project investment in demonstrator projects. And they will have a guaranteed rate of return, of which we will define over the next 6 months. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope you're all as excited about this as I am.
Great, well, I'm excited. It's been a